5 things built in the worst possible locations. Number 5 is the Petronas Towers. Now, these towers are located in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia, and despite their mind-boggling 88 floors, they still aren't the tallest buildings in the world. That title belongs to the Burj Khalifa in Dubai. But that doesn't mean the Petronas Towers aren't special, because they were actually the tallest building in the world when they were built back in 1998. They held that title for 6 years until the Taipei 101 took over. But the reason why they're on this list is because of where they're located. You see, they're situated right in the middle of a major city, surrounded by congested roads, shoulder-to-shoulder buildings, and it's all just a stone's throw away from an active earthquake fault line. So imagine if there was an earthquake while you're in the middle of one of these towers. It would be absolute pandemonium. No, 4 is even worse, though it's called the Jinmao Tower. It's a skyscraper in Shanghai, China, and it's right on the edge of the Huangpu River. Now, when I say it's on the edge, I mean it quite literally. If you zoom out on Google Maps, you can see just how close this building is to the water. And considering the fact that sea levels are constantly rising due to global warming, this building could be underwater in a couple of years. Not to mention, it's also located near another active earthquake fault line. So again, if an earthquake was to strike while you're inside this building, you wouldn't stand a chance. But no, 3 takes the cake because not only is it in the worst possible location on Earth, but it's also in the worst possible location in space. It's the International Space Station. Now, the ISS flies around our planet at speeds of up to 17,500 miles per hour. And when you're traveling that fast, you want to make sure your vehicle is sturdy and well maintained. But let me ask you this, do you think the ISS is sturdy and well maintained? The thing has been to space for over 20 years now, and it's constantly being bombarded by space debris and cosmic radiation, which has left it riddled with thousands of holes. And NASA is well aware of this. In fact, they have to perform regular inspections of the ISS to make sure it's safe for the astronauts to live in. But despite all this, people still live on the ISS. So if you're one of the many people who dream of becoming an astronaut one day, keep in mind that you might end up living in a tin can with a bunch of loose screws. At this point, you're probably thinking that nothing can beat the ISS for sheer danger and risk. But you'd be wrong because no, 2 on this list is not only more dangerous than the ISS, but it's also a lot closer to home. It's the Hoover Dam. Now, this dam is obviously very important. It provides water to millions of people in Nevada, Arizona, and California. But that doesn't change the fact that it's in the worst possible location. You see, it's located in an area that receives an average of 360 days of rain and thunderstorms per year. And that's not good, considering the fact that dams are supposed to keep water in, not out. In fact, the Hoover Dam has leaked from day one, and over the years, the leaks have gotten worse and worse. It's estimated that the dam loses 50,000 acre-feet of water per year. That's enough water to fill up 16 Olympic-size swimming pools. But that's not the worst part. The worst part is that the Hoover Dam is also in an earthquake zone, and if an earthquake were to strike, it could cause the dam to collapse. If that happened, it would release a massive amount of water and debris, causing catastrophic damage downstream. But no, one is even worse. It's the Three Gorges Dam. Now, this dam is located in China, and it's even bigger than the Hoover Dam. It's 1.2 miles long and 570 feet tall, and it was built to provide flood control, generate electricity, and allow ships to pass through. But once again, it's in the worst possible location. You see, the dam is located in an area that experiences frequent earthquakes. In fact, there was a magnitude 7.2 earthquake just 60 miles away from the dam in 2008. If something that strong were to hit the dam, it would cause it to collapse, and it would cause catastrophic damage downstream. Not to mention, the dam is also in a typhoon zone. Typhoons are known to cause massive flooding, which can overpower the dam's flood control system. In fact, the Three Gorges Dam has already been hit by several typhoons, and each one has caused significant damage. Now, I know what you're thinking. How can anything be worse than a dam that could potentially cause catastrophic damage downstream during an earthquake or a typhoon? Well, the answer is nothing. That's why the Three Gorges Dam is the worst thing ever built in the worst possible location. Thanks for watching. See you next time.